Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be telling you some of the vehicles I think everybody really should own in GTA Online. The list is in no real order. You can check the video description for the list and the details like their prices and stuff. That's it. It's all that's going to be in the description because there's not much that I can really do. There's no outside information I use because you can just get it from the game. Anyway, the first vehicle is going to be the Buzzard, and it costs $1,750,000. If you are able to afford it, then I highly recommend you buy it, especially if you don't have an oppressor. Really, if you are a newer player, definitely get it, because it is a very good way to get around the map. Buzzard has been in the game ever since day one, and you know, it's been used since day one by either noobs or by players, because back in the day, this is all you had. This is the best way to get around the map. Was using the Buzzard, because you could spawn it right in front of you through the Secure Serve menu, which is actually why you should buy it. Even if you have an oppressor, you should still get a Buzzard, because the Buzzard can be a backup. So say your oppressor gets destroyed after you call it in, you know, you gotta wait that 5 minutes or whatever the cooldown is. You can just call in a Buzzard and fly away. While the Buzzard's not as good as the oppressor, it still will get the job done and will come in handy whenever you need it to. And also, the reason you want to buy it is because this carousel menu will be free. If you don't buy it, then it'll be 25,000. I forgot which one it is each time you call it in. If you buy it, then it's actually just going to be free, which saves you money in the long run. And even if you didn't, even if you don't use it that much, you always have it. And also, it's kind of fun to bring out sometimes and just fly around. I've gone around killing people before, and it's kind of fun to kill people with the Buzzard. It's satisfying. Very satisfying, actually. This next one I forgot to get any footage of, but it's the Terabyte. The Terabyte is $1,375,000, and this is honestly one of the most useful vehicles in the game by far. Like, this is top 3. Like, it's a very useful vehicle to have. It's one of the best vehicles to own. It gives you the ability to start missions for every business except for the nightclub. You can't do popularity missions from here. It's the only one where you can upgrade the Mark II, the only place you can upgrade the Oppressor Mark II, which comes in handy. And client jobs, which are basically like easier VIP jobs that pay more. And I think they give you either the same RP or a little less. I can't really remember. But the Terabyte, definitely a vehicle that you need to own. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you are, once you have all your businesses and stuff, even before that, after you get the basics, you need to have a Terabyte because it makes your life so much easier. Like it shaves off little bits of time, gives you access to the client jobs that pay a lot, which help you in money guides. Because, you know, if you're doing import export, you do a VIP mission, and instead of doing another import export mission and then maybe having to wait, you can do a client job, which might kill that cooldown where you would be doing nothing, and you make an extra $30,000 for 2 minutes of work. Definitely a must-have vehicle, no questions about. This is one of the vehicles on the list that you have to have as a grinder or as a player of G. If you grind the game, especially, you need a Terabyte. If you play GTA, you need a Terabyte. This is just a must-have. The Oppressor Mark II costs $2,925,000 to $3,890,250. Depends if you have the trade price. The trade price is unlocked by doing 5 client jobs. If you're thinking about doing the client jobs, do the client jobs. 5 jobs saves you $1 million almost, so it's roughly $250,000 you're saving. I mean, $200,000 you're saving per client job. So it's definitely worth it. You know. I don't see why you wouldn't. It's almost $1 million that you're saving by doing it, unless you already have like $500 million and fuck it. But if you don't, then do it. I mean, it's not that hard. 5 of them. If you have research for the oppressor missiles done, then this is really one of the best vehicles in the game for you overall. The thing has countermeasures, the flares, the smoke, or the chaff. I recommend using the chaff. Also, the rockets that they do, that the oppressor has, rarely miss. If they miss, it's fucking, you can write that down in history. Unless it's Merryweather dudes parachuting out of a helicopter doing crate missions, it will miss a lot of the fucking time. The vehicle's also pretty fast. and small. So for crates, it's fucking amazing because if a crate lands in an alleyway, you don't have to, as before, you'd have to land your Buzzard or whatever vehicle you were using. You know, you have to get out and go run to it. No, crate now with the Oppressor Mark II, you can just drive right down the alley, pick it up. And it's, you know, pretty nice just to be able to do it. Also, for protecting cargo and PvP, the Oppressor is a great vehicle to do that. Protecting cargo, it's kind of good at, because usually if you're attacked, it's going to be with a Mark II, so whoever shoots first would win that. But it's not a bad vehicle for PvP or protecting people's cargo at all. I would highly recommend if you plan on like always protecting people's cargo or trying to help people like help protect it, use an Oppressor, because that's going to be the counter to every vehicle really. The Oppressor Mark II is a vehicle that you have to have. It's the vehicle on this list that if you play this game a lot, you have to have, like, in my opinion, you have to, like, it's mandatory. This isn't just, oh, you should. This is definitely the vehicle you should own. Out of every vehicle on this list, this is the one you need. The Vagner costs $1,535,000, and the Vagner is one of the best vehicles in the game all around for getting around. You know, out of cars and trucks, it's one of the best vehicles all around. It has great handling, great speed, and if you have to race, most likely it's going to be supercars or sports cars. And if it's supercars, you're probably going to want to use the Vagner, and you're going to be fine, just because it's a great car. It's definitely, if you like to race, then get it. If you like to just drive around and want like a smooth ride with it, definitely get the Vagner. It's just fun to drive around when you're bored. It handles well. It sounds nice. It's a very nice vehicle. Kind of expensive, but if you don't have the money, then don't get it. If you do have the money, then I highly recommend you get it. I love it, and when I drive it, I always enjoy it. It sounds amazing too, so makes it even better. The Pride costs $1,420,000. The Pride is the fastest car in the game, at least I think it is, unless the cars come out it's faster. I don't know. I don't think there has been. If there has, then what the fuck ever. It is a sports car, and if you race, you definitely want it. It's a great option. It handles well, and definitely a car you need to have if you race, because when sports comes up, boom, use this car, you're good. If you don't race a lot, still get it if you have the money for it. Fuck them. Because the car handles well, it's fast, and in free mode, it's just nice to kind of drive around. Like, I like the handling of it. It's really nice. So just driving around, it's, just want to chill out, maybe drive a little bit. Definitely a car to use, just like the Vagner. In races, it's very useful. If you're not in a race, it's really not too useful. It's more of a, I have the money, so I'm going to buy it type of thing. Just because, like I said, it's not that useful outside of racing, because you have like the Oppressor or a plane or whatever to use to get around the map. But definitely get it if you have the money, though. The Hydra costs $3 million to $3,990,000. It all depends on the trade price and all that. If you complete the heist, the Humane Labs heist, I don't know if you have to do the heist or it's just a setup for it, then you'll get the trade price of $3 million. If you don't, then you'll have the almost $4 million to pay. Other than that, the Hydra is no longer as useful as it was back in the past. It's still a very good buy, though. The Hydra can be useful for hangar missions, VIP work, and then for PvP it can be useful, even though PvP not so much anymore since the Oppressor. The Hydra can shred anybody, basically, like enemies and NPC enemies and stuff. Like, you fucking just shred through them with the cannons. The Hydra also makes Headhunter and Sightseer and Hostile Takeover way easier. You just spray the enemies and it's easy. The Hydra can dominate just because of how easy it is to use. It's easy to fly around, and as long as you don't come across an Oppressor or somebody in another plane that turns better than the Hydra, which is a lot of them, then you should be good, to be honest, because you can just spawn kill. Like, I've done it to people where right when they spawn back in, I just come right back down, do a little straight front on them, get them, and then after they spawn back in, repeat. Even if they're in a car, you're going to catch up to them. You can kill them easily. And if you can't hit them with the cannons, you have the missiles. While they're not as good as the oppressor missiles, they are still locked on, and they can help. The Hydra is also very useful for grinding because of the hover mode that it has, right? So the hover mode allows it to land, obviously, in just smaller spaces than it wouldn't if it was just like a normal plane. While it's not small, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can still land it in tighter areas, and it does make some missions easier. It's a good backup. Like, oh, I need to finish this headhunter, and I can't call in my Buzzard or my oppressor. Just use a Hydra. You'll get it done in like under 2 minutes if you get the right one and you do it in the city. Definitely a vehicle I'd recommend getting, because even if you don't use it for PvP or whatever, you can use it for the hangar or as like a backup vehicle or whatever. It's also just kind of fun just to do what I'm doing here and just go around killing police with it. It's kind of fun. Just go around it. I like it. Definitely worth getting. Like I said, not as useful anymore, but still has a lot of uses. The Kuruma costs $525,000 to $698,250. The Kuruma is the armored vehicle that is it's the best armored vehicle to use against NPCs. NPCs have a hard time getting shots through all the armor. As you can see through the footage, like, you know, you might get hit once, but for the most part, you're not going to get shot. And it's basically invincible almost against their fire. Obviously, I think it'll start smoking eventually. It'll blow up eventually. But it takes a lot of, you know, rounds to do that, and by the time that it gets to that point, you're already done with what you're doing. You know, I've never been driving it around and had so many enemies shoot it up in the smoke. Never. So, you know, by the time that you get to that point, you should be done with what you're doing. You know, if you're not, then it's kind of your fault at that point. The Kuruma really shines through in contact missions or when you're doing heist missions. That's when the Kuruma it helps out a lot. You know, it just tanks through them. Contact missions when they're double money, if you just want to make the money from them, use the Kuruma. You will blast through them. It's good for Criminal Mastermind Challenge for the heist, or just trying to get through the heist in general. Very, very good to use. It's still very useful. It's not ever really been useful against not against players. Like, you can't go around killing people in it because the lock on, the way it works, it'll lock right to where like a weak point is, kind of, or usually it will. So once you go to the side of somebody, like once they see the side of it, and then they can just headshot you, one shot, you're done. So it's not that useful against players. And also, you know, if I should pull out a rocket launcher, I shoot it once, you blow up, you're dead. You know, there's no explosive armor protection on this at all. It's really only good for NPCs, but when you need it for NPC missions or for missions that where you have to fight NPCs, then it is honestly the vehicle to use. It's the best in the game to use, arguably, because it's, like I said, their bullets really don't penetrate, and if they do, it's just one every now and again. You know, it's not like they can just constantly spray you down. It's really, really good vehicle to use and worth the money. It's not even that expensive for what you get out of it. It's not that expensive at all. The cargo bomb, the regular one, costs $1,790,000. The cargo bomb is not really too useful until you get the import-export warehouse and then use that business because, you know, it picks up cars as you see, but really it serves no purpose other than fun until you have that business, because in that you have to transport the cars, and if you damage it, you make less money. So if you have the cargo bomb and you just pick the cars up, you don't damage it as much, and you make more money. And also, you can save a lot of time just by flying the car to the warehouse. You know, you don't drive on the roads, obviously, it cuts down time, whatever. So it's actually pretty useful if you like running import-export like that. I don't really use the cargo bomb too much, but if you just want to get import-export done really quick, then it's honestly the vehicle to use. It's more useful than any other vehicle for import-export, at least. It cuts down the process, makes it easy, and it's way more safe for you. You're not risking as much money. Not a bad option. This is one of the vehicles that almost doesn't get on this list, just because it serves almost no real purpose other than import-export.
I really don't like the fact that I put it on the list, but I know some people like using the cargo bot for import-export, so since that option's there, it does make it way more useful than what it otherwise would be. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. Ask them. Have a good day. Hope to see you back on the channel, and peace out.